Hey, what's up, YouTube fans? I just filmed a YouTube video where I was talking about the evolutionary reducibility of the human brain, right? And on this video, I wanted to talk about the evolutionary reducibility of the human mind, right? Which is slightly different in that when we say mind, we're more so focusing on the mental functioning that's expressed, the types of things which are studied in psychology. Um, but we do know that the brain has a significant role in determining how the mind works. We It's been demonstrated experimentally, right? The role that the mind has, or I mean, that the role that the brain has in influencing our behavior, and even the differing regions of the brain. We have a lot of knowledge by this point about the differing roles that they have in determining the mental functioning, right? How the mind is functioning. And what's interesting, right? With people trying to deny that we're animals, right? Even though we clearly, are animals, it's undeniable, it's obvious that we're animals, in fact. But people will try to deny it, right? And, even though in the case of our bodies, it's so plainly clear that we're animals, nothing about our body goes against what you would expect from the body of an animal. We clearly have the body of an animal. Nothing about it is not what you would expect for the body of an animal. Sure, features unique to our species, just like there is for every species, but nothing about it that's different from that of what we would expect for an animal. But, some of us like to think that, even though our body is clearly that of an animal, at least our minds are fundamentally distinct from that of an animal, right? At least our minds are fundamentally distinct. The way we behave is fundamentally distinct. But even the way our mind works fundamentally is animalistic. Yes, we are the most intelligent creatures on Earth, at least as far as we're aware. There's no other creature on Earth as intelligent as humans. Um, but fundamentally, the way that our brains work, the way that our mind works, is fundamentally the same as that of other mammals, right? As that of other animals. We we have the same basic reward system, right? And so, scientists will do experiments with like mice, right, to show how their brain works because of their reward system, right, with dopamine in their brain. They will, for example, train mice to have differing behaviors by giving them a reward, such as sugar, right? Um, and the way that they will respond, right, towards these rewards, which give them a dopamine response, is much the same as how a human will. We have the same basic reward system fundamentally, right, as they do. And this is why people will struggle with addiction, right? People that become addicted to various substances like cocaine, for example, those people, right, they will lose control over continually using the substance, right? Even if they desperately want to quit and, it's killing them, ruining their life, sometimes they even have children, and it's not that they're bad people, they're not even necessarily selfish people. They're desperately trying to quit. They recognize this bad and they want to quit, but they find themselves unable to. They're unable to control their own behavior. They don't have will over their own actions, right? um and it comes down to the reward system we have, which is the same as that of many other creatures on a fundamental level. It is. um and this reward system, it reinforces behavior, and although it can be abused, it helps animals that are not as intelligent as humans. And so, for most animals, they're not intelligent enough to understand why they need to do various things, right? But the reward system reinforces behavior, right? And so, for example, encourages them to have sex, right? Which is why, people like other animals would get pleasure from sex, right? Not to be too graphic about that, but and this is because that is how we produce offspring. So that is how we pass on our genes to the next generation. Same with why we will get satisfaction from eating, right? And we will, if we go too long without eating, it will cause us, physical pain. We'll be upset, we won't like it. um that is an evolved response, right, which encourages us to eat because eating is necessary for our survival and ultimately reproducing and passing on our genes, right? And so, we have experiments with creatures like mice, and we can show that the fundamental way that their uh mind works in influencing their behaviors is much the same as humans. We can also show that, other animals have memory, right? They can, I mean, most of you would even know that from experience. If you have a dog, you would know that your dog can recognize you versus someone that isn't part of their family. That proves they have memory, right? And so, I mean, the fundamental way the mind works, right, for humans is the same as that of other animals. It's fundamentally animalistic, not fundamentally distinct, right, on a fundamental level. And, we can show the role of differing regions in the brain of influencing behavior, influencing the mind, even influencing your conscious experience, your cognitive functioning, all of that. There's so much research on it already demonstrated experimentally, with like damaging regions of the brain. It's proven to affect the mental functioning, including the person's conscious experience. Their internal subjective experience is affected by it. You guys could learn this yourself if you don't already know that. Just like drink, like at least if you're old enough, just go ahead and drink alcohol or smoke marijuana or whatever. You'll notice that your conscious experience is altered by it, right? Even though it's a chemical substance, a material thing, and it alters it in predictable ways, right? um And we know this both from studying humans and other animals, right? And so, even if, let's say if you believe in a soul, we're not really going to get into that in this video, but, regardless, you still have to acknowledge, because it's already been proven, that the brain has a very significant role in determining how our mind functions. So, regardless if there could be a soul that, exists in an abstract sense and continues after death, the reality that you would have to acknowledge, because it's already been proven, is that the brain has a effect on your mental functioning. It has a large effect, right? If your brain were to become severely damaged, you would not just be capable of thinking at this to the same extent that you can now, right? It would be affected by that, so that's just a fact. Regardless of what your personal beliefs are, we have to all acknowledge that by this point, because it's already been proven to be true. So, all right, that's all for now. See you guys.